Most people work hard their entire lives, putting in 40, 50, even 60 hours a week, and still struggle to pay their bills. They watch their dreams slip away month after month, year after year. Why? It's not the economy, it's not your boss keeping you down, and it's definitely not about luck or timing. Jim Rohn, the man who mentored Tony Robbins and influenced millions, believed there was one fundamental truth behind wealth that most people refuse to face. Today, you're going to hear that truth. And if you're brave enough to listen, it will change everything. Jim Rohn once said, "You can have more because you can become more." Those 8 words contain the entire blueprint for financial success. But here's the thing. Most people hear it and nod along, but they never truly understand what it means. In the next 12 minutes, we'll break down the real reasons why you're not rich. Not the comfortable excuses, not the popular myths. The hard truth that Jim Rohn spent decades teaching to anyone willing to listen. If you're tired of motivational fluff and ready for real, timeless principles from the man who mentored some of the most successful people alive, hit that subscribe button right now. We're not here to make you feel good for 5 minutes. We're here to build wisdom that creates lasting wealth. Let's get started. 1. You're paid for the value you bring. Here's Jim Rohn's first hard truth. Don't wish it were easier. Wish you were better. Most people have this backwards. They think they deserve more money because they work hard, because they show up, because they need it. But the marketplace doesn't care about your effort. It doesn't care about your needs. It only cares about one thing, the value you provide. Jim used to tell a story about a man who complained that he wasn't making enough money after 5 years at his company. Jim asked him, "In those 5 years, have you become 5 times more valuable? Have you developed 5 times the skills?" The man went quiet. You see, salary is not about fairness. It's about value. If you want to earn more, you must become worth more. The marketplace is the ultimate judge, and it's brutally honest. The question isn't, why aren't they paying me more? The question is, how can I become more valuable? 2. Your money grows only when you grow. Jim Rohn discovered something profound early in his career. Income rarely exceeds personal development. Think about it. If you handed $1 million to someone who thinks like a minimum wage worker, what would happen? Within a few years, they'd be broke again. We've seen it happen to lottery winners over and over, but give that same million to someone with a millionaire mindset, and even if they lost it all, they'd likely earn it back because they have the internal blueprint for wealth. This is why Jim spent more on his personal development than he did on his car. He understood that working on yourself isn't an expense. It's the highest return investment you'll ever make. Your bank account is a reflection of your personal development account. Want proof? Look at your income 5 years ago, then look at yourself 5 years ago. See the connection? The wealthy don't just work harder. They work on becoming the kind of person who naturally attracts wealth. 3. Excuses are expensive. Here's a truth that might sting. Most people are broke because they've mastered the art of making excuses, instead of mastering the art of making money. The economy is bad. My boss doesn't appreciate me. I didn't have the right opportunities. My parents weren't wealthy. Jim Rohn had a different perspective. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to what happens to you. Excuses feel comfortable in the moment, but they're incredibly expensive in the long run. Every excuse you make is a deposit in your poverty account and a withdrawal from your possibility account. Jim came from a poor farming family. He could have spent his whole life explaining why success wasn't possible for someone like him. Instead, he chose responsibility over excuses, and it made him wealthy. Here's the hard truth. As long as you're making excuses, you're giving away your power to change your situation. The moment you stop making excuses and start taking responsibility, everything shifts. The wealthy don't have fewer problems. They have fewer excuses. 4. You're not managing your time. You're spending it. Jim Rohn said, time is more valuable than money. You can get more money, but you cannot get more time. Yet most people treat time like it's unlimited and money like it's scarce. They'll spend 3 hours watching Netflix, but won't spend 30 minutes learning a new skill. They'll scroll social media for hours, but won't read for 20 minutes. Your calendar doesn't lie. It shows your true priorities. And guess what? Your bank account reflects those same priorities. Jim had a revolutionary approach. He planned his time like a wealthy person plans their investments. Every hour had a purpose. Every day had a target. Every week had a theme. While others were spending time, Jim was investing time. He invested time in learning, time in relationships, time in building skills, time in creating value. Look at your calendar from last week. How much time did you invest in activities that could increase your income in the next 5 years? Be honest. That number probably explains your current financial situation. The wealthy understand that time is their most precious asset, and they guard it accordingly. 5. No plan equals no progress. Jim Rohn was famous for saying, if you don't design your own life plan, chances are you'll fall into someone else's plan. And guess what they have planned for you? Not much. Most people are more organized about their vacation than they are about their wealth. They'll spend weeks planning a 7-day trip, but won't spend 7 days planning their financial future. Jim had a plan for every decade of his life. By 30, he wanted this. By 40, he wanted that. By 50, something else. He reverse-engineered his entire life from his desired outcome. Here's what separates the wealthy from everyone else. They have a plan, and they work that plan every single day. Not just a vague hope or a wish, a specific, written, time-bound plan. I want to be rich isn't a plan. I will increase my income by 25% in the next 18 months by developing these 3 specific skills and pursuing these 2 opportunities. That's a plan. The wealthy don't wing it. They don't hope for the best. They plan for success and then execute that plan with discipline. Without a plan, you're not making progress, you just make 6. You're hanging around the wrong people. This might be the hardest truth of all. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Jim Rohn learned this lesson painfully. He realized that his broke friends were keeping him broke. Not intentionally, but their mindset, their conversations, their priorities were all aligned with staying exactly where they were. When Jim decided to change his life, he had to change his associations. He started spending time with people who thought bigger, earned more, and expected success instead of accepting mediocrity. Look around you. Are your closest friends talking about opportunities or obstacles? Are they discussing investments or expenses? Are they planning their success or planning their next complaint? This doesn't mean you abandon everyone in your life, but it does mean you might need to limit the influence of people who are comfortable with struggle and seek out people who are comfortable with success. Your income will rarely exceed the average income of your peer group. If that thought doesn't motivate you to upgrade your associations, nothing will. 7. Consumption over creation. Here's a pattern Jim Rohn noticed. Poor people are consumers, wealthy people are creators. The broke person asks, how much does it cost? The wealthy person asks, how much can I make? The broke person spends their evening consuming, watching TV, scrolling social media, playing games. The wealthy person spends their evening creating, building skills, developing relationships, working on projects that generate income. Jim understood that every hour you spend consuming is an hour not spent creating, and only creation builds wealth. This doesn't mean you can never relax or enjoy entertainment. But it does mean that if the majority of your free time is spent consuming other people's creations instead of working on your own, you'll stay exactly where you are financially. The wealthy have flipped this ratio. They spend more time creating than consuming. They're building instead of just buying. They're producing instead of just purchasing. What did you create today, this week, this month? Your answer to that question predicts your financial future. 8. You're waiting instead of starting. Jim Rohn had a saying, "The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now." Most people are waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect opportunity, the perfect circumstances. They're waiting to have more money before they invest, waiting to have more knowledge before they start, waiting to feel ready before they begin. But here's what Jim discovered. You don't get ready, then start. You start, then get ready. The wealthy understand that action creates clarity, not the other way around. Perfect conditions never come. The wealthy act with the information they have, learn from the results, and adjust course. The broke wait for certainty in an uncertain world. Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for perfect timing. Stop waiting for someone else to make the first move. Your wealth is waiting for you to start. Here's what Jim Rohn taught us. Wealth doesn't start in the bank account. It starts in the mind. It starts with philosophy. It starts with becoming the kind of person who naturally attracts abundance. Jim Rohn didn't get rich by accident. He didn't get lucky. He got rich by philosophy, by changing how he thought, how he planned, how he spent his time, and who he spent it with. Every single point we've covered today is a choice. You can choose to increase your value. You can choose to grow personally. You can choose responsibility over excuses. You can choose to invest your time wisely. The question isn't whether these principles work. Jim Rohn proved they do. The question is whether you'll work them. Your financial future isn't determined by your past, your background, or your current circumstances. It's determined by the philosophy you choose to live by, starting right now. If one of these hard truths hit you right in the chest, I want you to comment below and tell me which one it was. Sometimes we need to face the truth before we can change our trajectory. And if this video gave you the clarity you've been looking for, smash that like button and subscribe for more timeless wisdom from Jim Rohn's incredible legacy. Remember, you have something unique to offer this world. You have value that's waiting to be developed. You have wealth that's waiting to be created. Your future self is watching. Make them proud. I'll see you in the next video.